magistrate reached a verdict. I have guilty or innocent. Spare me this mockery of justice.
Yeah, so we had a snow apocalypse today.
Yeah, the Betty Whiteout.
Is that what people are calling it? That's great.
I don't know if it's got something to do with it's got something to do with her birthday.
Oh, was her birthday supposed to be today, like that special?
Or yesterday? I don't know. I can't hear.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe.
Either way, that's funny. This is because she was so nice. It seemed like she was really stupid on that show.
Yeah. Golden Girls.
Yeah, the Golden Girls. Yeah. Have you ever watched that since you became an adult?
No.
No. Yeah, like I'm sure you saw it. Everybody saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just Dorothy's a real fucking bitch to everyone.
That's the big one, right?
That's the big one. Yeah, that's Dorothy. What's her fucking name? Anyway, B. Arthur. B. Arthur's a huge woman. She's like the Sigourney Weaver of the Golden Girls. She's huge.
Gigantic.
Yeah. And it's And
then Blanche was the slutty one.
Yeah. Although sex positive is the preferred nomenclature.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what I was gonna say? That wasn't very. It wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't very woke of me. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Yeah. We still talk that way in the 21st century. It's fine.
Some people do, I guess.
Well, why not? I mean, it's.
Yeah.
They're taking the word back.
There's a lot. I know. There's a lot of things. People get mad at us sometimes. Like once. Remember that?
I do remember when they got upset. They should get upset about other things. We say something.
Yeah, I get really. You think there's other things we say you should get upset about?
Yeah, probably. It depends on your political persuasion. I mean, we've had lots of people actually go at us about racist grandpa.
Really?
That happened.
Remember that?
Oh, and well, I won't name the episode, but there was some stuff. We've been people complain that we haven't served our country, all that shit.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Don't bat an eyelash about that.
Yeah, but you know what though? We're like what generation are we?
I think we're X. I don't.
No, we're like barely X, bitter end of X, or maybe like what do you call it? Geriatric millennials.
Yeah, millennials.
Was one of the other terms, geriatric millennials.
Yeah, so
we're the most ancient millennials, or the very last and youngest generation X, somewhere around there. Yeah, and we are entitled because our grandparents and stuff probably went to war at some point or another, maybe some of them. So like we get to talk about that. It's fun. That's how these new generations work, right?
Yeah, well, so you think like the older millennial generation, they have absolutely, unless their parents fought in Iraq or Afghanistan, I think
as long as somebody like at least 3 or 4 generations back fought in a war, you're good to go.
Okay, then as long as the ancestral memory is there.
Basically, like in a nutshell. I mean,
I've seen some movies. I saw Saving Private Ryan. I know what the fucking score is.
Yeah, I know what's up.
Yeah. Jeez.
I saw Inglourious Bastards.
Oh man, ain't war hell.
Yeah, jeez. Is that from a movie?
You know who also is fighting a war? You know who's fighting a war against crime?
The man himself, Frank Castle.
Yeah, Frank the Tank. So those of you who have been keeping up on episodes, you'll realize that there's a little more Punisher content than there was in the past, and that's on me. But
yeah,
that's my fault. But I was fishing around. So we had the snowpocalypse today. We've been fucking shoveling snow all day. It's been a fucking shitty day, and I was like, I want to do an episode, but I don't want to do anything that. Because sometimes we just do one-off issues, right? And we never done any Becky Cloonan, and I was and we never talked about Steve Dillon, so I was like, hot dang.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot to tell you, I read this, so I banged this out really quick. I read a couple issues here for us. But I wanted to tell you that actually I have read the entire thing because I own it, because I bought it, and I think you made fun of me.
I made fun of you.
Maybe. Yeah, you said I had a pile of big smut one time, and then I just put it back on my bookshelf. But I had treated myself because I can't get enough, Dylan. I can't get enough. And
okay, yep.
For the record here, Becky's treatment is very Ennis-like. In terms of it, I feel like her stories. I'm gonna say, not a dig on Ennis. Obviously, we love him, and he's capable of big, deep, layered shit. He's the Mac. But very good treatment of the Punisher character with the use of Steve Dillon to sort of keep some continuity, sort of to the Punisher style of old.
Yeah.
Her plots are less funny, and the bad guys are more bizarre and severe. But generally, the Punisher is the same sort of comedic butcher.
Yeah, and I think I did wonder whether or not, because I like, maybe what you're thinking of is when Frank shows up in that warehouse and he's about to smash that guy with the cinder block, and he's halting he just halts in midair. I was like, that's only Dillon could really pull that off. And
he has no expression on his face at all.
Yeah, he's bleeding. He's been like he's gotten roughed up a little bit, but he's murdered so many people. I just wonder whether or not, like, there are bits in this. Like, I actually laughed in this a little bit. I can't remember off the top of my head where.
It's mostly like the fucking Steve Dillon headshots.
I think so.
The amount of people that just get splattered and peppered. No one's got the chops like this. The shock on the police's face. There had to be 2 shooters, maybe 3. Who knows? It's fucking Frank.
Yeah. I think they work really well together, Cloonan, and like this is solid, and you're right, it is Garth Ennis-esque in that it's in its sparseness. One thing I noticed about so I've been reading a bunch of Chuck Dixon Punisher comics, and in that era there was always like war journal entry, and lots of internal dialogue. One thing, actually, even Ennis, I think, definitely has internal dialogue. But one trick that Greg Rucka pulled, and I think others did it as well. Like they've and definitely Cloonan did it. They removed all inner dialogue. We don't know what Frank's up to.
Oh, I know exactly what Frank's up to.
Well, that's fair. But we don't hear any of his deliberation or anything.
No.
He's. Yeah, but then again, he's just always on the move. He's just always
unnecessary.
Murdering.
He feels ghost-like in this story. Like he's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then they even give you that little there's that little taste at the beginning. You kill him at all costs. You can't kill Frank Castle. He's already dead.
Yeah. I guess that's. Yeah. And that's a nice callback too, because one thing that they used to, in the earliest Punisher comics, they would just talk about that all the time, about Frank being dead, and that kind of fell off the wayside again in the Chuck era. And then that's another thing that Rucka played with, So like there's, it's this is just in a she's doing a good job of kind of harmonizing all the different like ways of approaching Punisher. It's really intelligent. Without being like smarmy or poetic or anything like that. It's just a good fucking Punisher murders everyone story.
No, and where did Becky come from? And why does she want to write the Punisher?
She's got a background writing, like one of the first things she did, like independent comics first, like illustrating and real small press shit. And Cynthia got me a Viking story of hers, like a 12-20 pager, something like that. It's beautiful. And she, so I think she did Northlanders for a little bit. I think she's written some Conan. She has a wide and varied career, which I have very little knowledge of. But she seems to have, in the same way like that Catherine Bigelow is interested in various forms of masculinity, I think that sort of thing draws her attention as well. That's what I gather at a glance. she's
you
interested.
You can have fun too using Frank as a ghostly tool to dispatch all toxic forms of masculinity. Abusive dad, let's say. Goodbye, abusive dad. You get fucking dragged into the smoking slit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and in typical sort of like say no to drugs fashion, that's a classic Punisher deal as well. This stuff about a drug that gives people superpowers, that's kind of like a Bendis thing. A lot of it, like I'm describing all these things and I'm making it sound like it's derivative, and I, it is. Like it's a fucking superhero comic from 2016 or whatever. Everything's derivative.
There's nice little additions though. The face guy,
No, that's from Preacher.
I know, but just a little something to gross you out, a little extra edge. Sort of, it's like a hybrid. Like what's that little saying you always say? Incorporate and transcend.
Yeah.
I like it. And like half the time, see, I'm glad you liked it because I read this and I thought it was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just
for a great Punisher story. Yeah.
It was a great. If I pick up a $20 Punisher Marvel run of like 5-6 issues or whatever, and I get this, man, fucking pat myself on the back.
Yeah,
this is great. But half the time I have a hard time knowing if Dillon has so much narrative power that like anybody could write for him. Maybe that's not fair to Becky because I think this is great, but like that's the thing is like, have I read a bad Steve Dillon comic either? I don't know. Maybe we could take the Pepsi challenge on that. Give me some fucking terrible shit so I can see that he's not the master worker.
I think he's always the master worker, but like nonetheless, like I've seen lots of master workers work. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so hopefully I'm right about this. But I mean, like, you can still have a great cameraman and produce a shitty movie. And I think Steve Dillon has been involved in some stinkers, like, contrary to his fucking skill. Like, I recognize that. Like, these pages, so legible. And I know that doesn't sound like high praise, but everything's so clear. You always know what's happening. The timing's perfect. And I'm looking at this wooded forest. Sorry, I don't even know what issue this is. Frank showed up at that hotel. It's issue 2. He showed up at that hotel, and then and then cut to Face, and he's waiting for some guys in the woods, and it's just like a trail, just a wooden trail to establish context, and then it skips over to him and down and close it up on his mouth, and then zoom out again, and
the guy pisses his pants in one frame.
Oh yeah, when
oh please don't kill me.
He can just sort of pull it off. Whatever it is that you want to draw. I like sometimes I find his art flat. And one thing that like I really like about this is the way the colorist manages to give roundness to Dillon's figures here to really good effect. And this is some of my like favorite Dillon art, even though this isn't probably his best work. I don't think it would be fair to say that, but I liked all of this in a way that I don't usually like Dillon.
I like this sort of younger, bulkier Frank too that they kind of went with. This is like almost like a throwback story, or like it's because I feel like Ennis's run like had him aged a little.
Yes, yeah, he's an older Frank.
He was like a tired, pissed off fucking was like exhausted from fighting mob bosses and shit.
I think it's the distinction. Oh no, go on.
No, that's fine. But that's good too. I like that. But a fresh, invincible Frank is always nice too.
I think it's because they put like Ennis's Punisher is from the Nam, and this Punisher is from Iraq. Because we get a flashback sequence in issue 6 that shows how he had the sort of how he knows Olaf, and it shows him in I assume it's Afghanistan or Iraq, or whatever those particular American conflict zones. So it's kind of a different feel, and I like that this Frank's ugly, and he's still got the army haircut. I just feel that somehow Dillon managed to just make him a little different.
Yeah, he is. He looks different.
Yeah. He's bulkier. I like that skull too. I wonder what the guys on that Facebook page would say about the skull. I love when they talk about the different.
I don't know if they would like that.
Yeah, no, Punisher fans are funny about the skulls. Yeah,
and they don't like any variations in the skull. This one's completely different. It's like, actually, I don't think I've seen it before.
No, I don't. No, I think it's a Steve Dillon sort of.
It's like a full redesign. Oh no.
Yeah. With jeans and black T-shirt or whatever, and it's and again, I brought this up again a couple seconds ago, but Greg Rucka's run on Punisher, really great redesign on the symbol. It's all ghostly and smeared, like spectral. It's very good, but the contrast with this Frank is really pronounced, because that Frank, Greg Rucka's Frank, is very handsome. He's very pretty. In a grizzled sort of way. And yeah, this one's, he's just a thug. He's just a fucking huge, look at those arms.
Yeah, he's going to cinder block that guy.
Yeah.
And he was a full like jarhead when he was in the back part of this. Yeah, I think I meant to get the next, or I'm not sure if I even maybe have it, but when he comes up from the grave.
yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, okay, I mean, you got me. I want to keep on keeping on here, but I can't remember if this was the goodbye Steve Dillon thing though, right?
Well, they get one more trade out of him, I think, and then by trade number 3 for sure, Dillon's not on the credits anymore. I haven't had a chance to flip through volume 2 yet, but
yeah.
If you ever, I'm gonna finish the whole run. I like following. Punisher comics are so easy to read. They're really they've really quickly turned into my extremely guilty pleasure. I like to see what people do with a killing machine. I think it's instructive. It's something that like reveals something about a person. Sort of where their interests are and who ought to die and why.
This one's really smooth. This one had everything you needed. The sort of weird seedy hotel pickups and just, I don't know, just the way Frank portrayed like the pace of him and the calm. He's so calm.
Mm-hmm. And it does the smart thing. We haven't even talked about like the surrounding story of the DEA agents who are like the Ortiz lady who's on the case. And that's another thing that makes Punisher work. Like, don't make the story about the Punisher. Make the Punisher something that's complicating someone else's story. And then have him be like, he's still the main character, but he's just like this this fucking menace for cops usually, or someone, like someone has to have a story that he disrupts and brings chaos into.
Well, it's like bad guys go. So all in all, like the DEA or whatever police agencies got going on, they get what they need. He kills everybody and then he's gone. But that's tedious. Then you had to have a file on him.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, and again, I'll bring it up again just because I don't think we'll get around to reading it anytime soon. But Rucka does a really great job of his framing device is similarly police officers, and they and how the cops would think about the Punisher and why they haven't sought his arrest or anything like that, or and later on in the series, the Avengers are going to try to and succeed, spoilers, in capturing Frank, but he fucking gives them hell. But the first person he's fighting is the Black Widow, and she's chasing him across the globe as he's on like his Punisher killing spree. And most of the people that she talks to, they're like, they're like police officers and stuff like that. And they're, like, we're old, and like, honestly, you got to give this guy a medal, for the things that he's up and doing. And the narrative always sort of takes Frank's side on just killing scumbags, which is, that's fine. We can all get behind that.
Yeah, geez, you could, especially like if you were thinking like in terms of like, America, where obviously the streets are busier and more violent. And then if you take that to the next step and say like if you were thinking of like older officers who'd like seen friends die or something like that, somebody like the Punisher would be great.
Yeah, or just people who, I guess the idea is, though, and I talk about this in the sort of Chuck episodes, is the central conceit, though, that Becky's not dealing with here is the idea, like, she's smart because she makes the Punisher go after like established criminal empires and stuff like that. He's after distribution networks. He's not killing like street dealers and stuff like that. Like, he's after the big fish. And there's nothing, and again, you get rid of his internal dialogue, and if you give the Punisher internal dialogue, it's kind of ugly, because he's thinking about like criminals just get out of prison and the law can't stop them and I got to step in, and it turns into sort of reactionary shit that you're kind of like, ugh, I just want to see him kill criminals. I don't want to think about why he's doing it.
No, it was the same as that pervy fight between him and Daredevil. Was that way back throwback when we read?
Oh, with with Ennis?
No, it was a really old artist.
Oh shit, I know what you're talking about.
They had like a fucking dance
Frank
fight.
Miller.
Yeah, Frank Miller did it, and yeah, they were like fucking ballet fighting each other, and there was so much fucking internal dialogue. I just about shit myself.
Yeah,
it wasn't good.
Yeah.
War Journal 2015, he's fucking Captain Picarding it. No thanks. You know what? You can count me out of that, Frank. I like to sit there. I like to see you quietly sit there with that stupid fucking grimace on your face while you clean guns and like rearm yourself. Maybe stitch yourself back up.
Yeah. Again, unless Garth Ennis is doing it. Yeah. Again, Dillon's timing in this is fucking beauty. Like, there's that scene, the little girl with the explosive vest has been saved. That's a nice touch, by the way, that end page.
Yeah, that he like makes the play to save her.
Yeah.
It just shows I don't know. There's like, I know there's not a lot of like really like, whatever story to any like really avid Punisher fans. There's not a lot of depth. You have to be a clever writer to do Frank properly without it just being like a fucking big eye roll. And to just get, the little touch, the little saves a kid,
Yeah. And like it's moments like that, and this is like this is completely in my head, but and Dillon,
I'm Juniper. Do you like dinosaurs? Sure. What a great guy.
Actually, how about some ice cream? Just like the look on his face as Dillon draws it. You see that in that moment. Like, Frank used to have kids. Like, he's a father. That's why he fucking kills people, because his family got gunned down. And there is that core to him of like, even like, it's fucking perverse and weird, but it's kind of ideally the idea is that it's driven by love, like that's kind of what I'm romanticizing, his frigid death god status. Right? Like,
yeah.
But if I want to be nice just for a moment and just be like, it's really about a guy who, lost his family and just decided like, what? We don't need these fucking criminal empires anymore. Fuck them. I'm a soldier. I'm going to deal with that with my bulletproof van. Oh shit, that's what I laughed about. That was one of the things I laughed about when they're shooting up the van. They're like, it's just a distraction, and then he comes out of the van and just fucking murders them, and they're like, he was in the van. Classic. Yeah.
Frank.
So yeah, this was good. You know, if you're a Punisher fan, check this out. Check this book out.
I don't know. Well, if you're a Punisher fan, I don't see how this one slipped past you in the last 10 years.
Yeah, unless you're me.
Well, actually, I think, to be honest with you, I think it's only about a year old for me. I think I pulled it off an Indigo when I was out shopping with the girls, and I was like, "Hey, Dylan." So, you know.
Yeah, and I guess maybe in my defense, I'm still I'm a new Punisher convert. So you know. Anyway, not going to give it a score. Just go get it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
Well, yeah. So until next time, guilty will be punished.
Now, all we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.